So it turns out that in Massachusetts, there were some cops knocking on the migrants' doors. And you know, the cops are always knocking on the doors up in Boston, but it's usually because they want you to come out and vote for the Democrats in the next election, you know? So they're knocking on the doors and they're handing you out a campaign palm card and they're telling you who to vote for, you know what I mean? But this time they knocked on the doors and they arrested a bunch of guys. How dare they? How dare they? You hear this, guys? The ICE is going around kicking down doors and taking down these gang members. And it's just shocking because they've been doing business for decades in Massachusetts and nobody ever said anything to them. So now everyone is just shocked to find out that there's law enforcement going on in here. Shocked, I tell you. Jesus. But I was just thinking about this, guys. I mean, isn't it better to be a migrant than to be literally anything else? I mean, I was thinking about this. I was thinking about becoming a migrant. You know, maybe I'm going to go just take my cash flow and go, you know, go to another country, set up shop there. I mean, because that's basically what these guys did. They said, hey, a lot of them are calling out like their Lord and Savior, Barack Obama, who welcomed them to Massachusetts in the first place. And so I guess that's when they came. So I know Auntie Zatuni used to have a place up there. But, yeah, like, they come over here, they set up shop so you get your business running, and you're going to get free housing, you're going to get free food, you get the food stamps, you get the WIC, you get the temporary assistance for needy families, you get basically all this, you get an entire buffet full of welfare. So, you know, that's a good way to get started. I mean, like, if I want to be a migrant somewhere else, I have to come and show them that I have some sort of income. Like, I have to prove that I'm worthy of, you know, supporting myself when I arrive. But if you arrive here as a migrant, you basically have to be an unskilled worker, and you're basically coming here because you heard there was no work. And so you're going to come here, set up shop, become, I don't know, a drug dealer or whatever. You're gun running. You got something going on that's not legal. Okay, let's just go with that. Because I don't know if what they were doing. I don't even know what they were doing. I'm assuming it's drugs because Americans love drugs. So, you know, these are just guys that are selling the drugs that Americans can't be bothered to sell. You know, so they're just members of the economy. But you come here, you set up shop, you get free everything, and then all you got to do, the only thing that can really bother you is the loss of purchasing power of the U.S. dollar. You know, so you have to put up with that along with every man, woman, and child that was born in this country and lives here as a local. But I'm thinking, if I go become a migrant somewhere else and take my cash flow there, and they're going to make me prove that I have income, which is fine, but then I can have a much better lifestyle because I don't have to live in a place like Boston where there's a bunch of people trying to kill each other all around my neighborhood who are, you know, fighting it out over the drug market or guns or whatever it is, stolen goods. I mean, I'm just assuming they took over for the, you know, the mob, which lost all its market share back in the 90s. So somebody had to come in because nature abhors a vacuum. The difference with the mob was, like, it never had a government that welcomed it. You know, the government, well, I guess you had the Boston FBI office. They were working with the Irish mob when Whitey Bulger was in charge. So I guess I can't really say that. So yeah, I guess the government does always enable them. And they've been enabling them for a long time. These guys that are, you know, getting their doors kicked in this week. But isn't it just better to be a migrant? Like, wouldn't you rather be an illegal alien than, like, anything else? I mean, who wants to be a wage slave in the United States today? Who wants to have a real, legal W-2 job? Because you basically get to pay for the government that then subsidizes the criminals that then are trying to kill you. Like, I mean, if you're walking down the street in Boston at the wrong time, like you and your girl are walking home from dinner or whatever, and you just happen to be walking by when these guys are trying to do a deal at exactly the same time, and everybody's tuned up, right? Everybody's waiting for the deal to go down. Everybody's, looking around. They don't want any, who's that guy, like, they don't want problems. So you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, and next thing you know, somebody pulls out a knife or pulls out a gun and kills somebody. And your girlfriend's in the hospital, next thing you know. I mean, this is the thing. So, I mean, I would never live in Boston. I was up there during the crisis when Charlie and Marty were locking us all in a cage. I was a GM in Massachusetts during that time period. But I hated being in corporate at that time. I was literally the only person that I knew that was going to work every day. Except for like the guys in the trades who were building stuff. Construction was open, everything else was closed. All the government schools were closed, all the government offices, everybody was working from home, everybody was on a beach somewhere. But these guys were working. I'm sure the drug market was still open for business. Everybody was sitting at home. So, again, like, they're members of the economy and they get to thrive no matter what the government does to the locals. MS-13 is always open for business. They're not always doing business, but they're always open, right? That's how it is. And the politicians just let this go on because they were busy chasing us around to see whether we had a mask on or not. They were busy checking our medicine card to decide whether they were going to let us into the continental breakfast at the hotel in Washington, D.C., Like, we were the ones who were basically the criminals. But the criminals are basically the ones who are, basically the elite in our society. They're taken good care of, and they're allowed to do whatever the hell they want and get away with it. So, I've been thinking about this in the last few months, and I never really thought about leaving the country before, but I am really, seriously thinking about leaving the United States forever and just becoming a migrant somewhere else. Somewhere where, I'll be appreciated for my, what I produce and, my economic value to the country, Because these guys don't produce any economic value. Like, these guys are literally just drug dealers, criminals, and they're getting all of our money. And if we work, if locals in America work, we have to pay taxes, we have to slave away at a stupid job. The corporations are always out there signaling that, they love the immigrants so much, and, everybody is so valuable except for American-born citizens. So why would anyone want to be a local from America living in the United States? You want to be a migrant, like these guys. Now, some of the worst of them are getting their doors kicked in today, which, great. Law enforcement has finally emerged after decades of doing nothing. It's so wonderful, guys, I mean, like I said, I worked in Massachusetts. I mean, I saw what went on in the cities. I was in Boston. I was in Fall River. I know these places. I know what goes on there. So I'm not just talking like I'm watching the news and I'm, telling you what I saw on CNN or something, or Fox. But this has been going on for a long time. And I'm sure Trump is just, he's rolling this out. He's trying to send a message, but I mean, do we really think that things are going to change in mass? You think mass holes are going to be any different next time around? You think they're going to elect a new government up there? Of course not. The libs are going to vote the same people over and over again, forever. It's the same thing all over New England, New York, New Jersey, Maryland. It's all the same BS. So, I'm glad, certain people, like my friend Mike Urban, one of the realtors I really like. I watch his show. I like some realtors. And he's really pissed watching this guy. He is upset, boy. He doesn't like it. And I mean, he sounds like the kind of guy who probably used to be, you know, like he didn't say too much. He just kind of said, it's fine, you know. But it's not fine anymore. But I don't think that people in mass are going to vote for any new politicians up there. I don't think it's going to swing from one end to the other, if you know what I'm talking about. There's not going to be like a red wave in the state of Massachusetts. But yeah, guys, I mean, I just wanted to come at you with that angle because, you know, it's good to be a migrant in the United States, but it really sucks to be a wage slave working in corporate somewhere. That's why I got out, and that's why all I do is real estate investing now. And my job is here on YouTube because I love talking to you guys and building this channel out. So I hope you liked the video, and appreciate you watching me today and sticking all the way to the end. And give it a like and a subscribe. And if you want to see another video, I'll throw a couple up on the screen right here for you and check them out. But thanks again for watching. I'm Danny Elliott.